We're just gonna dive right into the madness now and see what this does. Hey, what's up? Today I'm going to show you something that escaped our think tank. It's called Sphere. It's this sick 3D visualization plugin. It has absolutely no audio functions, but it is incredibly fun. So you see this bubble in the middle here? This is something which this insanely talented, crazy software programmer, visual artist designed for us. And we loved it from when we first saw it. And then the idea emerged like, why don't we turn that into a plugin that you can put on your master and then have it react to your music? And we created this. So this is Sphere. Every time I see it, it just makes me happy. It's just such a cool thing whose only use is to be beautiful and inspire you. Let me get you started by giving you an overview of how this works. So if I, for example, now lower the music, you see how it's kind of like falling into itself? That's because it's responding to the amplitude at the moment. So the goal with this was always to have this up on a beamer in the studio and just have it like bouncing around to your music for visual inspiration. The graphics are infinitely scalable, and like what you're seeing now is kind of the default psychedelic inspired settings with the glow around it. Let me show you what happens when we start to bring in some more sound to this, and yeah, just how fun this is. What I like to do is reduce this frequency and amplitude and actually get to this part, which is kind of like the raw programming of this. So for example, if I change this color now to white, you'll be able to see like there's all these little kind of lines and things happening in there, right? The rotation speed is what is responding to music, both positive and negative. So if I change that, you can see that now it starts to respond in a different way. And the rotation speed also affects it, like how quickly it's going to respond to things or not, right? And now the cool thing is that now we start to zoom in here and we start to get into this kind of glitchy matrix thing where all kinds of cool mosaics and stuff can start to come. And when you then increase frequency, you just get like more and more weird options for patterns and like bending of these lines and these lights. Obviously, you can, change the primary color that you are working with in this microcosm, which is where stuff already starts to get real. If I zoom out now here, you see how it's actually inside there's a lot of different stuff going on that what you can see on the outside. And on the outside, the reason why it's all white now, if I'm remembering correctly, is due to opacity, which adds like a kind of like a white color blob or like brightness over all these little micro lines that are tweaking around. So now if I take bloom, what I can actually do is again change the way these patterns are happening. I can use the parameter I'm looking for. Whoa, yes, this is it. Strength. I haven't myself completely sussed out exactly how everything in this thing works together because it's insane. So bloom strength and zooming in and like minimizing the rotation speed leads to some of the effects that I personally really like, because we can get it to kind of become a bit more stationary. Well, I guess we're just gonna dive right into the madness now and see what this does. There we go. Okay, so I found something now that I love. It's It's a sick one. Before you ask, right now, like this is like a super MVP thing we just did for fun. There is no way to save presets. So if you like something you've done, you need to screenshot it. If you want to capture this as video to use for like a video installation or something, there's no way to export it because this is a VST plugin. This isn't like a video graphical software. It's running as a plugin in the DAW. So you need to capture your screen if you want to capture this. But as I just showed you, I just took a screenshot of this now. So that's like a setting for something that I love because this on my Beamer looked sick. And yes, we will work on presets and all those kinds of things, but we just never really thought that this was going to be something that so many people would want to have. Yeah, like now that it's here, I can maybe just show you a little bit how I got there. Like I often take this amplitude down because that like wobblifies all the lines, which can be super cool also, but I like being able to peer into the sphere and see all these little lines. Opacity just kind of blurs stuff out a bit more on the Molly vibe. Amplitude is the bender. Frequency, yes. Zoom, of course, is how you enter this microcosm of stuff that's happening there. This RGB amount is like adding the psychedelic vibes. Let me zoom out a little bit to give you an impression of what RGB does. You see how it's like... it's like tweaking off to the side. Oh my God, yeah. So the RGB amount also responds to your sound. So like it'll... Okay, so before I get totally out of hand, I'm gonna leave it here because I honestly don't even myself know exactly what this thing does. Like every time I use it, I find different stuff. And that's kind of the fun of it. It's just like, right now it's like this wild prototype that just does sick stuff that we don't understand, and we kind of like it that way. However, having automation, having MIDI control, so MIDI CC routing, having MIDI LFO access, having different ways to tweak it to respond to the music makes sense. And I feel you, and we're gonna work on that. But right now, know that what you saw today, this is what's on the shop right now, and I'll make a new video once this is updated. Considering we're charging for this like the price of 2 or 3 coffees, it's just such an incredible, fun, inspirational tool. And I'm gonna tell you now what it is about this tool that gets me. Every time I look at it, every time I'm tweaking it, it takes me out of my rational brain side and puts me in like a weird psychedelic space, which is, I think, a space which is amazing to compose from. So I use it like a visual stimulator to kind of put me into a creative space. And once I'm creating, it's awesome to just have it up in the wall somewhere and just, yeah, vibing while I'm doing stuff. Very often when I'm standing at that synth over there where I have a vocoder set up, I'll be staring at this and just, yeah, it'll take me places. So I hope it also takes you places. This is available on rapidflow.shop. This is, yeah, something that escaped the lab kind of on a fun whim, but like every time I look at it, honestly, it just makes me happy. I just love using this thing. I hope that this gives you joy, that you enjoy using this in your studio, that it gives you inspiration if you have it on a screen or on a Beamer or on a 4K Beamer, like basting on your whole setup or something like that. Link us in videos if you use this somewhere. We will keep developing it so you can add logos, so you can tweak it more, and so it can respond in different ways, but we're, yeah, in the process of getting there. I hope that this was fun to see, fun to hear. I'll see you on the next video. Take it easy. Bye-bye.